It should be a goal of us to disrupt those 60,000 thoughts. Think about it. 80% negative is the research. That's 48,000 negative thoughts. I cannot have those in my brain. Researchers tell us there's great benefits associated with self-affirmation. You cannot be grateful and mad in the same breath. It just doesn't happen. You are enough. I say it all the time. You matter. But you guys, you need to step in and believe you are enough. But when our self-doubt stops us from moving forward, that's when we have to have a real reality check. We have to remember we are enough for the moment. When you eliminate self-doubt, when you eliminate that and you take ownership, that opens the door for greater leadership. Hey everybody, welcome back to those of you joining us again. And for you guys that are new, I'm so glad that you're joining today. You know what? I'm super excited as we dive into our third podcast in our series of the 6 habits to elevating your leadership. The leadership that we want to have to meet the demands of the world today. You guys, welcome to the Leadership and Learning Podcast. I want you to picture in your mind and think of your mind as a radio. I want you to think of it playing the same station over and over again with the same 5 to 10 songs playing over and over again. You know what? Most of us have our radio stations tuned to a negative content. It's on loop 24/7. But guess what? You guys, we have the dial for that station. We have the ability to change the channel at any time to positivity and affirmation. According to research, Dr. Fred Luskin from Stanford University says a human being has 60,000 thoughts a day. That literally blows my mind. 60,000 thoughts a day. You guys, here's what's absolutely crazy about that though. The National Science Foundation says 80% of our thoughts are negative. Now that makes me really sad. And 95% of those are repetitive. You guys, that means some of us are stuck replaying the same self-defeating negative messages over and over again. You guys, imagine the power that we would have if we can unlock that script, if we could rewrite it, if we could change those words that are negative to something that's so uplifting in our mind. You guys, those statistics alone should tell us how important self-affirmation is. This is the practice of empowering our self-talk. It's for personal benefit, you guys. It is research-based. It's scientific. Researchers tell us there's great benefits associated with self-affirmation. Claude Steele was one of the original researchers who popularized self-affirmation back in the 1980s, and it remains a well-studied theory. And you guys, with everything that's happening with our mental focus, our social emotional health these days, it is back as a real topic of conversation. You guys, affirmation works because of neuroplasticity. And I know this is crazy because I'm not a science person, but I've really been diving into this, trying to learn and understand. Our prefrontal cortex, you guys, that's where our higher order thinking is. That's where our decision making comes in, our goal setting. This all plays a key role in self-affirmation because when we self-talk, we're making a difference right here in how we think, how we process. There's so much literature and research out there of self-affirmation, how it reduces our stress, how it helps our well-being, how it makes us feel better about the day. It gives us confidence. It helps us perform better academically. It gives us clearer thoughts. You guys, it helps lead to behavior change. And those are the things we want to talk about today. Self-affirmations are those acts that affirm us, that give us our self-worth. They're often the reflections of our core values that are deep in our soul. And when we have those self-affirmation and we get back to our core beliefs, then that gives us the strength to put a barricade around us so the negative thoughts cannot penetrate. You guys, it gives us the ability to step into each day with positivity and confidence. The focus of our conversation today is self-affirmation. It's the third in our series on emotional intelligence. Obviously, you know by the 3 podcasts how important I believe emotional intelligence is to our leadership today. In order to navigate everything that we face as leaders, we really have to have strength in our emotional intelligence, and we have to be tapped into that daily. And today, honestly, is one of my favorite topics relating to emotional intelligence, because I see it, I feel it every day in the people around me, and actually in how I deliver on my day's experience. You guys, it's all about self-affirmation. So each time we meet, our focus is 3, 2, 1. We're going to have 3 points, 2 questions, 1 quote, and we're certainly not going to leave our discussion without an action item. So here's the 3 points today of how we can embrace self-affirmation. Point number 1, the words that follow I am have to be intentional. I'm going to say that again. The words that follow I am have to be intentional. Think about that. Our self-talk influences all of our actions and the outcomes. The self-talk influences our actions, our behaviors, how we walk our talk. The key is we've got to talk to ourselves instead of listening to ourselves. That's important, because as I go into these podcasts, my brain is saying, oh my goodness, how do you look on camera? Is your face too fat? What are you wearing? You know, everything. Are you making your words make any sense at all? You guys, that's me listening to myself. Self-talk is, you've got this. You matter. The words you're delivering today could impact somebody. Your words today could make a difference. That's the key to self-affirmation. Think of all the words you use on a daily basis that follow I am. I have to give a shout out to my husband, Rex, because, you know, we're always talking about ways that we can stretch ourselves and grow as a leader. And it's been a couple of months ago, and he challenged me with the words that I use that follow I am. He recommended to me to start every day and in every night with I am statements, affirmation statements that I was putting in my brain. Remember, to decompress, to put a block to all those negative thoughts of the 60,000 thoughts, to really change that up. So think about the I am statements. I am a leader. I'm confident. I'm dedicated. I'm open-minded. I'm a listener. I'm empathetic. I am trying my very best. I'm working hard. I'm joyful. I'm enthusiastic. You guys, what are the words that you use after I am? When we say those words, we are drilling those into our brain. When we say those words, again, we're blocking out the negativity that's on the replay of our brain. So important. The repetitiousness, that aspect, is meant to influence us. It's meant to create a positive action, a positive change in our mind, and it helps us in pursuing our daily activities. It helps us stay focused on our goals. It helps lead us to the core beliefs that we have. And you guys, if we're running kind of nervous, if we're not sure about our core beliefs, then having that positive repetition and having those positive affirmations allows us to strengthen those core beliefs. Because you guys, when our core belief system becomes a deep conviction all the way in our soul, and it is there so ingrained, and we positively reinforce it, you guys, great things begin to happen because we start living our belief system. So let's think about these action steps that we need to turn all these negative thoughts around, because it takes work. I've already mentioned the first one, but we have to engage in positive self-talk. You guys, we have to challenge those negative thoughts. If they're in our brain, we have to just disrupt it. We have to say, nope, I am not going to be depressed today. Nope, I am not going to be down. Nope, I am not going to get up on the wrong side of the bed. You guys, that's just messaging we're sending to ourselves. Today, I am going to embrace the day. I am going to live today with a confidence. I'm going to live a day where I am walking out my belief system. We also have to look at our circle of influence. We have to consider it. Who are the people that we have around us? Are they people that encourage us? Are they people that lean into us, that stretch us, that give us feedback, that let us know you are the right person for the role that you're in? You are amazing. You do matter. We need those people around us. There are people in our life that just suck the life out of us, right? And sometimes we have to be around those individuals. But you guys, if we insulate ourselves with the positive, the affirmations, then we do a better job handling that negativity and we don't allow it to disrupt us and our perspective on the day. You guys, we also have to practice mindfulness. We have to be in the moment. We have to think through the ways that we can be in the present. Some of us through a prayer life, some of us do yoga, some of us balance our just position. We have to just be still. I know when I'm visiting campuses every day and I'm all over the place, the first thing I do when I pull into a parking lot of a school, I look around, I see the environment, and then I just settle. Because I want to be in the moment when I walk into that school building. I settle myself for a few minutes. I am thoughtful. I think about what I could experience as I walk in there. You guys, another way to change and just press into this self-affirmation is practice gratitude. I don't know of anybody I've ever met that practices gratitude and they talk about how blessed they are and how grateful they are for the things around them that has an irritatingly disposition that is frustrating and that's mad. You cannot be grateful and mad in the same breath. It just doesn't happen, right? Gratitude is something that makes us feel, oh my goodness, I'm grateful for where I am in this time and place. I'm grateful for the opportunities in front of me. I'm grateful for the challenges because they will stretch me. They will help me to grow. Another way to face into this self-affirmation is to focus on solutions to problems. You guys, I'm not even pretending. I know there are challenges out there and they're great and they're daily. They're in our face. Challenges coming from all different directions. They're pressing in on us. But you guys, what matters is we focus on breathing and stopping and looking at the solutions. What are the steps we need to take to solve the problems instead of just inundating ourselves with problem after problem? Take a time out and say, there's always a solution. Now, it may take us a while to get there, but there are steps that we can begin immediately. Physical activity certainly doesn't hurt when we're changing our mindset, right? That ability to get out, fresh air, exercise, whatever it is that you do. I know for me, this is an Achilles. I have to work on it. I keep telling myself it's that self-affirmation. I am going to get fit. I am going to walk today. But you guys, we have to do it. Physical fitness just changes our mindset. And you guys, learning something new, reading a good book. Reading to me is such a passion, but diving into a new skill, a new activity, that's going to bring us great joy and open up our mindset to positivity. Let's go to point number 2. Point number 2, I need you to hear this. You are enough. I say it all the time. You matter. But you guys, you need to step in and believe you are enough. Did you know what kills dreams more than anything else? Think about it. What is the dream killer? You guys, it is self-doubt. It's self-doubt when we question ourselves. I want to talk about Lewis Holmes' book. I think I've mentioned it to you guys before, but I think it's worth bringing up again. His book, The Greatness Mindset. There's a whole chapter 7, that's dedicated and entitled The Dream Killer, Self-Doubt. Holmes addresses self-doubt and how we fail before we ever begin. That's so sad. I remember when I first started planning these podcasts, I was standing in my own way. I was doubting every decision and second guessing every move. But one thing that changed everything was when I realized I was the only person holding myself back. Everyone else around me, you guys have been so encouraging. You've been so positive. You've given me feedback that really has stretched me. But trust me, I still have doubts. They creep in all the time. You guys, the list goes on to the doubts that we can have. But when our self-doubt stops us from moving forward, that's when we have to have a real reality check. We have to remember we are enough for the moment. We are enough. You guys, we have to know that self-affirmation is what's going to win the day. You know, I have to work hard at catching myself if I go down that path of negativity, of self-doubt, of questioning what I'm doing. You know, just in these podcasts, is what am I saying mattering? Is it resonating with anybody? Does it make sense, right? All those self-doubts, but then I have to stop and I have to say, nope, I have to return to the positivity. Because if you don't step out there and you don't challenge yourself and you don't put yourself out there, you don't have the opportunity to make a difference. You don't have an opportunity to affect change. That's scary and it puts yourself out there. But you guys, that's where difference happens. The key is to eliminating that self-doubt is, how do we change our mentality? Do you have the mentality of a winner? Do you have the work ethic to deliver on it? Do you have the passion enough to be consistent, to day in and day out do what it takes? I coached for 18 years. I loved every second of it. I did love the competitiveness. I loved just diving in to the work ethic it took to be the very best. But you guys, every day I learned more than ever from my athletes and students than I ever did myself. You guys, but there was so much self-doubt in my athletes. You know, when they were facing a formidable opponent, when they were learning a new skill, I could see the self-doubt just creeping in. Many times I would go into programs that had not been winning programs, and that self-doubt had just permeated everybody in the entire program. You guys, it was so critical to find a way to turn that around. So I started notebooks for my athletes. I decided what would happen every day if I gave them positive affirmation, if I gave them sayings and quotes that encouraged them to be their very best. I really wanted to focus on the positive. I didn't even know, honestly, all the research that I know now back then, but I knew that everybody needed nuggets of positivity. Someone telling them, you are enough. You are enough. You matter. You can make a difference for this program. I was trying to encourage them. I was trying to eliminate the self-doubt that may exist. I was trying to reinforce and just elevate the mentality of a winner. But you guys, like I said, I had to be consistent. I couldn't do it one day and not the next. I also had to be willing to walk the talk. If you're going to verbally say these self-affirmations, you can't live and your actions cannot demonstrate something different. You guys, I'd love to hear from some of my former athletes. Let me hear from you. Did the encouragement matter? Did all those old school notebooks and all those sayings matter? I would love to know the difference they made. I know for me, I did see differences daily. I could see the confidence swell in those athletes as they took the court. It made a difference from my perspective. But you guys, the idea was reinforced from this premise. If you doubt your capability, you're intimidating yourself. You're making it impossible to move forward to do the things that you want to do at your very best level. You guys, we have to eliminate that doubt. There's 20 letters and 10 words. If it's to be, it's up to me. Those words are transformational. If it is to be, it is up to me. I am enough. I have to know that. I'm enough. If I put in the hard work, if I continue to learn, I can make it happen. The power's within me, and it's within you as well. Sean Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teams, habit number 1 from Covey is you are in charge of you. You are in charge of you. James Clear said, every decision you make is a vote toward who you want to become. Think about that. Every decision you make is a catalyst to who you want to become. That's scary, right? All the decisions we make in a day. Holy cow. And it's who I'm becoming daily. And still, even at this place in my career, even in this place in leadership, I'm still becoming who I want to be. And that's okay. We all are in this journey together. But we have to remember, you're in charge of you and I'm in charge of me. When you eliminate self-doubt, when you eliminate that and you take ownership, that opens the door for greater leadership. That's why it's so important, these positive self-affirmations, to limit the negativity, to limit the self-doubt. And we're going to have it, you guys. We're all going to have doubt in some form or fashion, but the key is to be able to acknowledge it, name it, and course correct it right then. Find that positive self-affirmation that will create the opportunity for you to lean in, take the initiative, and move forward. There's a Latin phrase called sua sponte. You guys, it means of your own accord. Again, I want to bring up Admiral McCraven's book, The Wisdom of the Bullfrog. He has a chapter in here that's dedicated to sua sponte. This means doing what needs to be done, even without being told. You guys, great leaders do what's necessary and right without being told. They have the confidence to step in, to take action, to lean into the problem, to lean into the situation, lean into the celebration, and then lead. But to do that, we have to remove the self-doubt. We have to have the self-affirmation. Point number 3, we have to focus on today first, then tomorrow, not yesterday. Think about that. Man, that is a tough one. My good friend Damon West has a saying, the past does not define you. The past is your lesson. The present's your gift, and the future's the motivation. Think about that, you guys. Our past is just our lesson, but we got to keep moving forward. We have to focus on today. We have to narrow our focus to truly what is important. Creating this productive sense of urgency is so essential. Let's talk about how we can focus on what's important. First of all, we got to purge and delegate, you guys. We have so much on our plate and we talk about it all the time as leaders, right? Oh my gosh, I got all these things to do. I have all these responsibilities. I have all these things that are expected of me. You know what? We do, but there's the ability. You've got greatness all around you. There are people all around you wanting to be leaders as well. Give them the opportunity. Delegate. We also have to delete those low priority items. So delegate and eliminate all those projects that we've got going on that don't matter. They're not impacting the goals. The next thing we've got to do is we've got to focus on what's important. We need to use all the freed up time we just made by eliminating those projects that don't matter, by delegating some of the things, and we have to focus on what is important. We need to speak with passion. We have to embrace what we have. It's really hard to motivate and instill self-affirmation and instill confidence in others if we're not passionate about what we do. You guys, we have to match our words, our communication, and our deeds. Think about that. Our words and action have to matter. They have to match, okay? And our visibility is key. Are you out there and about? Sometimes we get so overwhelmed by everything we have to do. We bring ourselves into our office. It's okay. Settle, but then you've got to get back out there. You've got to get where the work is happening. A few other things to remember about focusing on the day. I've already mentioned this before, but we've got to be grateful. Be grateful for the people around you. Be grateful for the opportunity that you have. There's so much happening in the world constantly in our lives. A grateful heart is one that looks to find the wins in the day. What are the wins in our day? You know, a grateful heart counts blessings, not problems. A grateful heart looks at ways to give back. When we are serving others, servant leadership, it changes our mindset and it changes the mindset of the people around us. They want to be more engaged. It's a win-win for everybody. You guys, another way to focus on today instead of yesterday is to keep a priority list. I'm going to say that again for me. for everybody in the room. Okay, keep a priority list. You guys, not a to-do list. Here's the deal. I love me some to-do list. I love the check boxes. You guys, I'll do it, add it to my list with a little box and check it just so I can check it off. It makes me feel good. All right. It's a hard one for me. I just love the big to-do list. But you guys, what I'm learning is this. I realize when I truly prioritize the essentials, the priorities for me, the things that make a difference on my to-do list, then those are the items that have the greatest impact. So now it should be a prioritized list. The things that make an impact in my day, the things that make an impact on the others that I'm around, the things that impact my leadership for the positive, that grow me, that stretch me, that allow me to encourage and celebrate others. Those are the priority list, not the to-do list of the things that I've just got to get done. It also changes my mindset because I want to have the actionable list that makes the difference out there, not just the monotonous things that I've got to get done. You guys, and finally, we spend so much time looking behind us. Think about yourself as a driver. If we spent every second looking in that rearview mirror, you guys, we would never get anywhere. You can't drive forward looking back. We're so worried about our past mistakes. That allows doubts to creep up inside of us. You guys, we're not going to get anywhere doing that. We all make mistakes. The people you lead are going to make mistakes. How do you respond to that? How do you get them back moving forward? How do you let them know that's your past? It's not going to define you. You have the opportunity to create a new future in front of you. We cannot allow that self-doubt to come in there. You guys, we have to focus our vision moving forward. We have to take control. Remember, we matter, what we do matters, and we are enough. You are in charge of you. We have 2 questions for today. First of all, in what ways could you replace the self-doubt with self-affirmation to improve all the ways that you handle the challenges around you and the setbacks of your team? Think about it. How can you replace that self-doubt with self-affirmation? Because I know we're all facing challenges. Number 2, how can you cultivate this self-affirmation to help you foster a whole culture of a team that feels empowered to recognize and celebrate their own achievements? Too many times we have teams waiting on us to celebrate them. We're going to change our culture and climate when people start celebrating within their teams, within their individual accomplishments. Our quote for today, you don't become a leader by wishing for confidence. You become a leader by affirming your worth, believing in your purpose, and taking action. You guys, our reflection from today, it's all about self-affirmation. It's about self-affirmation. The 3 points are, what words follow I am, and they need to be intentional. Number 2, you are enough. And number 3, we have to focus on today first, then tomorrow, not yesterday. I'm always saying learning should equal behavior change, right? What is our action item for today? Because we have all this information, but we have to start with action, right? I mentioned at the very beginning of the podcast, the self-affirmations. You guys, please join me as your action today. I want you to start and finish every day with self-affirmations. What are they? I am a learner. I am an intelligent individual. I'm a hard worker. I'm a leader. I am confident. Whatever it takes, start and finish every day with those self-affirmations. It should be a goal of us to disrupt those 60,000 thoughts. Think about it. 80% negative is the research. That's 48,000 negative thoughts. I cannot have those in my brain. We can't function. We can't embrace the day. We cannot be positive, encouraging if we do not have a way to block, to put down, to separate, to challenge those negative thoughts. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Today's the conclusion of our emotional intelligence discussion. It is the first habit that I believe that's essential for us to elevate our leadership so we can navigate the challenges we face in the world today. Next week, we're going to continue our podcast series. Remember, you guys are amazing. You matter. You are absolutely in the role you are meant to be in this moment, in this time. Thanks so much for joining me, Lisa Spain, for our Leadership and Learning podcast.